Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end, it's just the beginning.
Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap. This is episode 32, and I am the amazing, brilliant, awesome, fantastic Rachel.
And I'm the reluctant writer, Rob. And how's your week been, Rachel?
It's been all right. It's been, it feels like it's gone really fast. It's just been writing.
Just writing?
Just writing, yeah. On one project.
On the whole, so how many words you done this week?
Oh my God. I don't even know. I've done like 3,000 this morning.
Right.
So, I know I'm at nearly 20,000 over 20,000 so far for this month.
What book are you writing?
It's one for I can't think of the word now.
X.
It's not streaming. Oh my God, subscription. I'm so tired today.
Oh right, okay. So
Yeah.
for your patrons.
Yeah, I just want to get it drafted, and then I can put that one aside, and then I can focus on the next project.
Right, okay. I'm still in editing mode at the moment. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a fucking chance to edit because I've got all the garden to do. I've got a load of wood that I need to turn into things in the garden, and then it was raining. I'm like, oh, brilliant! I'll start editing. But then, since came back from the conference last week or the week before, I've done nothing. I've not done any of my author work for my authors. I've just been like, nah. I got proper post-conference blues, I guess.
It feels a bit weird, doesn't it? Settling back into just go into stuff.
Yeah, just the normal thing. And so yesterday I thought, right, this week I'm going to start just get all these author jobs out. I mean, one of them I was doing. He's got a book out on the 11th, and I was just doing I'd already done the formatting, and I was just resizing the hardback and paperbacks and producing all that. So it's all ready for him. And usually I thought that because it's his second book, I thought that last time I'd sent it, but it turned out I was the one that had uploaded it onto his Amazon account. So I'd sent it. I'm like, right, it's all good. And he's like, oh, nice one, thinking that I'd already uploaded it. And I'm like, right, I sent it. That's the job done. And then he said, have you uploaded it? I'm like, do you want me to? And he's like, yeah, that's what you did last time. So I went on there, and when I went on there, there was 3 hours to go before he would have been banned forever for a year from the pre-order things. So thankfully I got there just in time.
Yeah.
But it's difficult sometimes juggling all the authors and knowing which ones you do certain, especially when they're reoccurring authors and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I came down with the post-conference cold, but it didn't hit me straight away. It was it was hitting me as we were recording last week.
Yeah, Adam's got that as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it was gone quick. But it was I had 2 or 3 days where I was just feeling really crap.
Well, like I said to Adam in one of his posts when he was whinging about having a cold, I said, you need to stop licking other authors' faces.
I know.
I mean, it's exciting being in the room, but it's a bit weird, and you also might catch an author cold.
Conference cold, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wiped me out for 2 or 3 days last week, and I was just feeling a bit crook.
Right. So, apparently, I've been nominated for a TikTok award, something. She that told me, wasn't it? There's this new indie author TikTok thing. I mean, when you said it to me last week, I was like, oh, brilliant! I don't know, and then I scrolled down the thousands of other authors that have been nominated. I don't feel as special anymore.
No.
And I was thinking, it'll be rom-com. No, it's not in rom-com.
No, I thought it was in rom-com, but when I looked at coming of age,
I'll try romance. Not there. Coming of age, and the book that's been nominated is one that isn't even published yet. So I don't know
You
how.
must talk about it a lot on your TikTok, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not sure what it's not an official. It's not an official one though, is it? It's like some
No, it's
guys.
just a fun thing.
Yeah, for bragging rights or something.
Yeah. Talking of TikTok, I had my first TikTok shop sale, which was very exciting.
That's amazing. Well done.
Yeah. And then I was like, I need to order a printer because mine's broken.
Yeah, yeah. I've had since I got all my books in, I've had no sales on TikTok. But to be fair, I haven't really been concentrating on it. I've just been putting the usual few posts up every day, just because of getting through all this author backlog and my editing. But I will jump on it because it's nice to sell books, isn't it?
Yeah. That really annoys me because you put up a TikTok and because it's got your link in, it gets 3 views.
It's weird, isn't it?
And then
Yeah,
and I tested this. I put one up and it got me like 3 views, and it just didn't. He was on 0 for hours.
yeah.
And I'm like, how can it even be 0? Because you can't say that's not because nobody's engaging, because you're not giving it to anyone to
Yeah,
engage. Put the
it's.
same video up without the link, like 2 days later, 700 views
Do
in
you
an
think
hour.
it's? Do you think there were? Because I remember Adam mentioning when he was on the show something about ads,
Yeah, they
TikTok,
wouldn't
you
pay.
know, SK something ads. So it's. Do you think that's why they're doing it so that you start throwing money into these ads?
Yeah.
So you know, people. I don't know. I don't know if he does that. You know.
I know he's got some ads up because I see them come up and it says at the bottom, really tiny ad.
Oh, does it? What on
Yeah.
TikTok?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Okay.
really tiny in the bottom left-hand corner. It just says ad.
Is that his shop ones?
Yeah, like something publications.
Yeah, AP Bez publication. Yeah. Yeah, maybe give that a try and see what. Because I mean, I guess if you threw 20 quid, I mean, or even a tenner, because you don't want to start throwing 20 quid at every fucking video you do. But if you did that, and then you get a couple of sales out of it, it's
I
made its
think you
money,
need
isn't it?
to, I think you need to first test the video to see if it gets good response. Because if you put up a shit video and pay for it and no one's going to engage in it, it's kind of pointless. Whereas if you've tested it on normal TikTok,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously, yeah. With your hooks and all the rest of it, and
yeah,
what music seems to resonate and all that palaver. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm not gonna. I just need to get back into the marketing stuff.
yeah.
But at the same time, I want to get this book done and dusted because having spoken to a few authors at the conference and that, they all seem to be writing small books.
Small
And
books quickly.
yeah, but this book that I'm releasing is 130 or 50,000 words get mixed up with another one, so it's massive. Uh, and I used to have it as like a novella series, so I think I'm going to release it as the book into the series, and then release it as a 4-part novella series as well,
Yeah,
and stick a bit of money around that behind part one and see how that does as well. So this book that I'm releasing soon is actually going to be 5 books.
yeah.
So I can't even do it all on the same day because Amazon says no, doesn't it?
No, no, yeah, you're limited to 3, aren't you?
Yeah.
A day.
So what are your publishing plans moving forward this month?
Um, get this draft done for my subscription stuff. Then put out the non-fiction one I wrote on conferences.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's finished. I just need to kind of like put it together. So probably take me a couple of days, and it's finished, that one.
No.
And then finish editing, and going back over 3 books of a series, so I can write book 4. When I say books, they're only 50,000 words. They're not big books.
Have you done them? Have you written them?
They're written. I just want to go back through them. One, I need to refresh my brain into the
Yeah.
character and the story. So I found, because I really enjoyed editing Jigsaw Girl, and it really put me back into it. And as I did it, I kind of made a notes and a Bible for myself, so it was dead easy, to have a gap and then come back in and drop back
Yeah,
into the
yeah, yeah.
characters. So I'm going to do that with these 3, and then I'm thinking I'm going to write books 4, 5, and 6 to go with it, because they're only 50,000 word books, so they're not that long. And that finishes that series then, and that's off my list.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I
And then,
counted up my works in progress. I know me and you did it on an episode
yeah,
like a couple of months ago, and I'm now at 23 works in progress. I'm like, you gotta stop this
I think
shit.
you were only at 16 when we did
17,
it,
I think it was. Yeah,
and then you started thinking, oh shit, yeah, that one. Oh, I
that
forgot
one.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was some that I'd forgotten, so I was like, this got to stop. And I'm like, I need to finish things. And the one with the 3 books is my bestseller every single day. So I'm like, why am I not finishing it and
yeah,
utilizing that? So I kind of give us when we came back from conference, I gave myself a bit of a talking to. It was like,
yeah.
right, pack it in. And
Yeah, I mean, going back to I mean, that's one of the great things about conferences is you talk to people and how they write, not just how they actually sit down and write, but how they that their plans for writing. It's just usually uh, inspirational in it, and it
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
kicks you into gear as well.
Well, this is why I was like when I was trying to decide what to do. So obviously, it probably makes more sense to do those 3 books and get those out. But then I was like, no, I need to be giving something to my subscribers every week. So I was like, if I can draft that, I can schedule that to just run
Yeah,
for
yeah,
weeks, and then I can like not forget about them, but they've got stuff even if they don't realize I'm not actually there.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
So,
yeah. I need to jump on my Patreon
how
thing
is your
again.
Patreon doing?
I've just not done anything with it. I've just, I've got a few subscribers and stuff, and I've just not done anything with it. It's just another thing that you're like, oh god, yeah, shit, that and this and that and the list,
Yeah,
and the list and the list.
yeah.
Don't ever become a writer because the list never gets
It just
smaller.
gets bigger.
But it's yourself as well, isn't it? It's like it would take 10 minutes to sort out the Patreon thing that's niggling in the back of my head, but I don't.
No.
So it's sort of like your own oomph, you get up and goness. That's what
Yeah.
I need to do. Once I've got all these authors out of the way, this week I'm just flying through all my author stuff, and then other author stuff, and then I can concentrate on Rob Radcliffe.
Yeah.
That's my plan, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we've got a guest, haven't we?
We do. Yeah.
He's a friend of the show already. He's always liking and commenting and stuff on things that we say, which is always nice. And he is Rachel.
Jason Ayres. Is it Ayres?
I don't know. We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah.
I've said
I
Ayres.
always read it as Jason Ayres.
I always read it as Jason Ayres, but it probably isn't. It will be Ayres, won't it? I bet he's called Smith. Really?
Yeah. This was supposed to, didn't we?
Like another author that I know. Yeah. Right, so without further ado, here is Jason Ayres.
So, are we live? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll edit this bit out.
Okay.
It's okay.
No,
Well, I
you
don't
wouldn't
mind.
edit it out if it was me.
No, fine.
I wouldn't edit it out if it was right.
Are you both?
Come on, it's your turn. You welcome the guest, Rachel.
How do we pronounce your surname? We've had a debate on this.
Okay, so it's Ayres.
Ayres. I
Yeah.
was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? That's not your real surname, though, is it?
I think so.
Oh, it is. It is. Right,
Yeah.
Okay. So
I am. Yeah, that is my real name.
Right. So you definitely know how to pronounce it, then, don't you?
Yeah, I do have a literary connection. I don't know. Have you heard of Pam Ayres, the poet? Do you remember her from
No.
the 70s? Yeah, she's sort
Jane
of like
Eyre.
a second.
Jane Eyre.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. She was on Opportunity Knocks, so she's like a second
Right.
cousin. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
your claim to fame.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's not that big. But so
What do you want me to say with the introduction? Because I got it wrong last time. You told me off.
I won't. Just do what you do. Go on.
What do you want me to say?
What the fuck do you think I wanted to say?
I don't know. He tells me off a lot.
yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. Shut up.
There's going to be a lot of
Alright,
editing on this, isn't there? The
No,
episode's
he
gonna-
Always.
doesn't edit
the
it when
episode's
No,
it's
do you know
not.
what I do now?
He leaves
I
it
just
in.
don't. I just don't edit anything out
No,
now.
it's been about 5 minutes long by the time you got it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It gets the minute count up. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go on then.
All right. Hi, and welcome, Jason Ayres, to the Indie Author Roadmap. Can you, for Rob's sake, tell me of the date today?
Okay, so we are broadcasting on.
No, what's the
No,
date?
the date today. Okay, it's Wednesday.
No, it's
No.
not. It's Tuesday. You've got to say the
Okay,
right day.
okay.
Just to annoy you, you've got to say the
Tuesday,
right.
July the 6th. Is that right?
It's the 8th, but we'll.
It's irrelevant. It's getting edited out.
It's a good job I know about time travel, isn't it? Because I just don't know
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah, you're back in time now.
Yeah.
So, lovely to have you on the show.
Yeah,
Jason.
thank you. I've really been enjoying watching them all, and yeah, it's been a great sort of filled the gap since the two indie authors finished. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I miss that show too.
yeah,
The only problem with doing your own show is you don't really listen to it while you're walking the dog. That'd just be weird.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So me personally, I've been a huge follower of you for ages because I'm a time travel writer myself, and I'd love everything time travel-y. So before we get into that, and Rachel can just have a cup of tea, tell us about yourself. You know, your author journey so far.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a long journey, and it started quite a long time ago. So I was in market research for years. That was my main career, which is quite good when it comes to analysing all the stats and stuff that we need to look at. And I sort of finished that around 2007, which was about the time I became a dad. And I was looking after two little kids full time, so I was looking for any way I could to sort of make a living at the time. I was doing bits of DJing, odd little bits of writing, sort of newspaper, magazine articles. I was a blogger when blogger was a thing, you know. Not that ever made any money. And I just kind of sort of slowly developed. I got this regular newspaper column in the Oxford Mail talking about parenting and as a dad, which was quite good. It was nice to get some regular paid income. And my first foray into the world of publishing was when I stumbled across the existence of Kindle and KDP. So this would have been around 2012, 2013 sort of time. And like most people, I was like, oh, there's an opportunity here. And but to be honest, and I'll tell you, it's a kind of a good example of how to do everything wrong to start off with. So I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. I thought, this is quite good. You could just publish a book. So I sort of went to my blog, sort of cut and pasted all my blogs into one Word document, slapped it all together, no formatting, nothing. Yay, that's a book. Up it goes. No editing, nothing, you know. So totally not really what you should do. But, you know, funnily enough, I did sell a few copies, and I've withdrawn it now because it's kind of almost like the embarrassing sort of relative that you don't want to talk about. And I wrote 3 of these sort of non-fiction books. But I'd been sort of writing bits of fiction for years, and I sort of learned the system. And then I thought, I'm going to try and write one of these books. And I had 3 sort of stories, 3 books that I'd been planning to write for years. So, I must write a book, you know, everyone's got a book in them, all that. But I just, you know, you don't get round to it, or people don't get round to it. I mean, I still have friends now who say, you know, they've been saying it for 10 years. Oh, I must write this book.
Yeah, you've got to sit in the chair, haven't you, to do it, unfortunately.
So I had 3 ideas, one of which was about people spontaneously jumping forward in time, which is what became my first book. I wanted to write a post-apocalyptic novel about a global winter, kind of like a day after tomorrow type thing. Yeah. And another idea, which is quite unique, was about a man living his life backwards through time. So that's, I don't know if you've come across my book, My Tomorrow, Your Yesterday, but it would be like, so today, it's Tuesday, isn't it? It's definitely Tuesday. When you go to bed tonight, you wake up, but it's Monday. So
cool.
The first day of his life, in the book, he's on his deathbed, and then he gradually goes backwards. And everyone always says, oh, it sounds just like Benjamin Button. But it's absolutely nothing like that whatsoever.
It's like Red Dwarf backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it Memento that's kind of like backwards as well?
Yeah, I don't know if I know that one.
Memento, it's
Memento
Guy
was Guy
Pearce, where he's
Pearce.
got no memory, but
Oh,
he's not living backwards, but he's tracing backwards through the notes he's left himself because he's got no short-term memory.
yeah. There is elements of that sort of thing in it. So I had these 3 ideas, and I put them out quite quickly in about a year. And again, examples of not what to do. I really, there's so much information now, isn't there, about what you can do, how you should do it. But I don't know, when did you start,
Pretty much, I
Rachel?
think sometimes because there's no kind of everyone's got their own
Yeah.
version of what you should do. So especially as a new author, you're like a bit of information overload
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Found, yeah,
But it was all like in its infancy then, and
Yeah.
there weren't the resources that we've got now. All these organisations and groups. I did find other people on Facebook, but I got these 3 books out, and they actually did become books 1, 2, and 9 in the Time Bubble series. So they weren't even written in order, and it was only the first book. They were not meant to be anything to do with each other. And I got near the end of writing the first one, and I was suddenly, hang on, I know how I can link these 2 things together. And then the third one, I was like, I could link that in as well, even though it was completely different characters. And slowly, this sort of series started to come together. And like I say, I mean, the first book, getting that onto the market was an absolute nightmare at the beginning, because I said I didn't know about things like book covers, or what they should look like, or how you should do it. So I went through this process. I've got to get a cover for this book. So me and a friend who was sort of an art student. So right, what are we going to go on to cover? Right, what's in this book? So so they travel to the future. They go through a tunnel. A girl goes missing. There's a railway line. There's the end of the world. We got to put all those things on the cover.
yeah.
So we had this like cover with. I mean, it was so cluttered. It was like.
With your collage with the title on it.
Yeah, so it got to about 2 days before, and I was looking at it. I was thinking, we can't use this. So I went on to, it was called self-pub book covers. I mean, this is quite a. I don't know if you would recommend this, but if people are starting out and they haven't got the money to commission an artist, these are where you can go and get ready-made ones.
Yeah.
And you can browse a load of them. And I found a lady there that had this cover, and I thought, well, yeah, that looks perfect. It was just a guy sort of walking into the sunset with an hourglass on it, and it was quite simple.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and then I got in touch with this lady, and she did some more covers for me, and she's still with me 12 years later.
Nice.
And it's been great. Though we did redesign the whole lot at one point.
Yeah, I remember when you first, it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? You rebranded everything.
Yeah, well, the Time Bubble ones are rebranded about 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Because I don't really see my books as science fiction. They are science fiction, but the sort of genre that myself and Adrian and the others we've sort of created, it's what we call kind of like believable time travel.
Yeah.
So it's not alien planets and all kinds of weird stuff. It's like, this is the sort of thing that could happen to a bloke in the pub, or
Well, when you changed them, I thought that's very much Matt Haig style covers. Very fun and bright kind of thing. Because he also writes along those lines in some of his books, but they're not very like, this is a grown-up book kind of thing. With the cover.
Well, I like your Ladlit ones, similar sort of colouring. And Mike Gale was another one that I looked at, although he doesn't.
Yeah, Mike Gale. Well, Mike Gale was a bit of inspiration for the covers.
Yeah, because I read sort of several of his books, and there's another one as well. Is it Nick Spalding? Yeah, there's a Nick Spalding
Nick
and an Adrian
as well. Yeah.
Nick, yeah. So I wanted. You see, when I started writing my 1980s series, I've been writing this long series. It's 15 books. It's finished now.
Yeah.
But the problem that you get if you write a long series is you are always going to be judged on the first book, because that's where everybody goes to start.
Yeah.
And
Now,
it's usually your worst.
yes, it
Yeah.
is. I mean, it's got the most reviews, over 2,000, but it only averages 4.1. So you've got that crucial cut off between 4.2 and 4.3, where they give you a half a star, don't they? You know when it appears on the graphic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it didn't really. I'm not even sure it deserved to do as well as it did, because there were so many problems with the initial release. I did get a proofreader, but let's say they weren't perfect. And in fact, they stayed with me for the early books. I had to dispense with them in the end. I'm not going to say who it was, but when I joined Ally, I discovered they were on their red warning list. So,
Oh, right. God.
and one book in particular they put out, and I swear I don't think they'd actually really done any work at all. And that's when you start to get the reviews about riddled with errors, and somebody even did a picture on one of them of one of the typos, and so that didn't help. But I didn't, even things like, like you don't indent the first paragraph of a chapter and things like that. I just didn't know these things. No. I mean, it's still readable, and probably most people don't mind, but it doesn't look professional. It looks amateurish. So, I would say, it's not a difficult thing to learn. So I'd recommend people starting out, try and get make it at least look right, So, and like between sections in the chapters, to sort of to separate them, I just had a row of equals going across the page.
Oh no!
And I know, it was just And when I look at it now, I mean, the book sold well, and it did do quite well. And when I looked back at it, I mean, I've obviously fixed all these things now, so it looks great. When I think back of it, I think I kind of deserved to get sort of pasted more than I did, really. So, but things got better. But that first book, there are so many mistakes I made with that first book, for example. So, it's a 15-book series. It covers about 50 years of people's entire lives. They go forwards in time, backwards, they go into alternate universes. It goes all over the place. But at the start of the first book, they're all like 17-year-old students at school. And people instantly, this is a teen book.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not YA or teen, but they just start that way. I mean, the 15th and final book, they're all like pensioners. It's sort of like the Darby and Joan Time Travel Club. But what I was thinking, I was looking at the later books I was writing, I'm thinking, I've come on so much as a writer. It kind of like somebody who's 20 looking back at what they wrote when they were 8. Looking at my first book. And I think, that's my only entry point. So if they pick up this and read this juvenile teenage stuff at school, they're going to put it down. They're never going to see those other books. So that's when I decided that I was going to do something different. And my author, I wasn't growing. I'd plateaued in terms of sales. I was making enough to get by, put food on the table and just about pay the bills, but that was it. And I thought, I've got to do something with wider appeal, and I want to do something to give people more entry points. So I created this 1980s series. I'm sure possibly you've seen them.
I have,
And the idea was to create something that's like a series, but it's an anthology. So there is a linking theme, but each episode is standalone. So like a TV show like Black Mirror or Tales of the Unexpected, or even something like Quantum Leap, where they jump into a different body each week.
It's episodic kind of thing.
Yes,
yeah.
But you could literally pick up any one of these books and read it without having to have read any of the others. So I've got 4 out there. 5th one I've just finished, and I can, via Facebook, which is where I advertise, I can put out any one of these, and it just gives me all these different options, and they're all quite different worlds. So one of them's all about a rock band, one's all about the Cornish seaside, or a little sort of village setting. Another one's sort of grimy London tabloid journalism, and it's just like all different worlds. My theory is they'll appeal to different people, and if they like them enough, they'll still like all the others, even if it's something that they're not particularly into.
Yeah, so I guess in terms of writing, your standalone series, if you like,
Yeah,
what it'll keep it interesting, won't it, for
yeah,
you? You know, so you don't have that you don't have that framework. You can go off in different tangents, you know,
yeah.
and yeah,
Oh, I
that's
know.
good.
With the 15-book series, the amount of baggage and continuity you've got to fit into just really weighs you down. It's a fresh sheet of
Yeah,
Yeah.
paper each time, and
and it's time travel, so there's
yeah,
all those plot holes just waiting to happen.
yeah. But it's not really. There's not a huge amount of time travel in it. They all follow the same structure. It starts on New Year's Eve in the present day. They meet the previous protagonist who had the previous book, who hands them this bracelet that just sends them back in time to spend a year in their own past.
Right.
So a 60-year-old is suddenly back in his 20-year-old body, and it's always a pivotal year in their life. So, you know, family member died, relationship failed, whatever. It's like we all had that one year that
Yeah.
that you need to go and
I think
revisit.
Sean Eminem,
Inmond, yeah,
Eminem, he does that in his
in his
first
middle, yeah,
his middle falls ones, yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's a similar idea. They're all set in the same sort of town or whatever, whereas mine are kind of all over the place. So, but I do have little bits of continuity, characters cropping up between books because people who follow your books absolutely love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
As long as you don't overdo it.
No,
Yeah.
like cameo in a book, isn't it? Just
Yeah. It's sort of a little reward or a nugget for your loyal fans, but it doesn't detract from the story if it's somebody that's never
No.
read any of the other books. So, yeah, I mean, it's just been great for me. It's kind of taking me up to the next level. Things are growing, and I've learnt. You know, I've been able to learn from all the mistakes of the previous sort of 10 years to make this right from the beginning. And you know, I've not one to talk hard numbers, but I kind of doubled my income from where I was 2 years ago, and sort of gone up into the next band of the you know, the things on the 20 to 50k.
oh yeah,
Went
yeah,
from
the salmon and
years and years as a trout, but I'm now a rainbow trout, which is quite nice.
Oh, brilliant. So how do you how long are your books?
Okay,
Generally
so
speaking.
I'm quite tight on editing. So between 70 and 80,000 words.
Right.
They could be longer easily, but I like writing dialogue and I like writing character. What I'm not keen on so much in books is too much description. Now, if I was to, you know, there's nothing worse than picking up a book and it goes into somebody's house and then they spend 2 pages describing every single object that's in the living room. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
needs to know that.
yeah,
You know,
We've mentioned this on a
yeah,
we did an episode on it, didn't we? You know, like
yeah,
just because you're in the kitchen, don't tell me what kind of thread the
no.
fucking tea
Yeah.
towel is. I
You
don't.
can literally say a kitchen, and
Yeah.
the reader will visualize a
Yeah.
kitchen.
yeah. A sentence or two, maybe. You know, if it's an old
Yeah.
kitchen in an old farmhouse, you might
Yeah.
mention it's got an Arga or a roaring fire or something. But
Or it's
you
a
don't need
Victorian
much more.
kitchen.
If I padded out these books with all that stuff, they could easily be 120,000 words. So
Yeah.
they really zip along. There's a hell of a lot packed into those 75,000 words. I try not
Yeah.
to waste words at all, to be honest. So, and I can get them out reasonably quickly now. So I'm working on a sort of 4-month cycle.
That's
I mean,
good.
Sean Inman puts them out every 2 months, and he is he makes the money, and you see it because the month after you put a new book out, your sales just go crazy. It's
Yeah.
better than any book bub or daily deal, or you know, it certainly helps. So I'm going to try and stick to that. I've just finished one. I'm hoping to get it out at the end of August.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my style. I've got a very rigid writing framework. So I started off as a total pantser, and now I'm a total plotter.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah,
it's hard though, isn't it? You like
Yeah.
pantsing because pantsing's great. You've got all the freedom in the world, but when all of a sudden you add in time travel and
Yeah.
time loops and all that stuff, it can just send you mental
Yeah.
when it comes to editing it.
Yeah, and I spend a lot of time on research as well because I'm an
Yeah,
absolute stickler for detail. So
yeah,
if he goes in and his mum's watching TV and it's the 3rd of April 1983 or whatever, I'll look up the Radio Times and find out exactly what was on. Now, I
Yeah.
don't think anybody reading is going to do that, but that kind of, I've got that kind of sort of mentality
yeah.
that I want it all to be absolutely spot on. So I
Yeah,
do spend quite a lot
I'm
of
the
time on
same
that.
with my time travel books. I call them my grown-up books because there is that much research.
Yeah,
I mean, you could spend 2 days reading about something, and it'll be a sentence in your book,
yeah,
but it's that you understanding it means that you
yeah,
can write it effectively. Uh,
yeah,
and also you don't want someone saying, "No, well that's wrong, 1 star."
And
yeah,
someone will.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what? It's even worse if they actually do that and it's them that's wrong because you've got no
yeah,
right of reply or anything you can do about it, have you? But a lot comes from memory and personal experience. So if I went on holiday somewhere in 1982 or something particular happened, I'll just weave that into the plot. So
yeah,
you know, there's an element of semi autobiographical stuff in all my books. So whenever someone does something, or it's like I don't say which though, particularly if it comes to sort of how can we say romantic encounters. Not going to confess to those. So yeah, I mean it's just a great fun thing to do, and I'm writing them for people of my age group because
Yep.
I find we grew up in an era where you have this shared memory, and you did all
yeah.
watch the same programs on TV
Yeah.
the same night. A thing which sadly I think we don't have anymore. The world has become so
No.
much more homogenous, and I'm not sure that people growing up now will have those same shared experiences when they get to our age. But
No, and there was nothing like when you were going to school in the morning, you were like, "Did you watch the episode of
yeah,
Quantum Leap?" And,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Yeah.
I can remember doing that. And in fact, the girl I used to do that with, we saw each other in the supermarket. We were like, "Do you remember we used to watch Quantum Leap all the time?"
yeah, yeah. No, I
I
loved it. Yeah,
I,
Yeah.
I always say to my kids that like all your memories when you close your eyes will have a frame of either a phone or an iPad around it. That
yeah,
those
with,
will
with
literally be all
subtitles.
your memories because you don't ever go outside. Go outside and
yeah,
break
Yeah.
something and build something or But yeah,
yeah,
that's just the world these days, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But I'm quite good at reaching these people because I think mainly through Facebook is where I interact
And
now.
Facebook ads.
Facebook ads, which is something that I have probably the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that I've shed over those things over the last few years is unbelievable. And I feel I've almost sort of got on top of them now.
How do you target or do you let AI do the thing?
Mix and match. You see, there are always issues that, like, so for example, my rock band one has got this like rock chick, and I put her in the pit. As soon as you do that, Facebook only just shows it to like men.
Yeah,
Because I think they say, "Oh, pretty girl," click, and Facebook, "Oh, only men are interested in that." So, if you've got something like that, you find, well, I'm gonna have to try and target women only, or even if you do women only with A+, it'll show it to women for the first day, and then it'll show it to men after that.
Change over, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I've been tinkering around with different types of audiences, images, and I've got a lot better, to be honest. I mean, some of my early efforts were just were just dreadful. But whether or not they convert, I don't know. I mean, what I've found this month, because I've got 2 books on Amazon monthly deals. So I've
Yeah.
put out variations of the ads I was running before, and suddenly my attribution, rather than showing like 1 sale a day, they're doing sort of 15 or 17 sales a day. But it's only because they're 99p, and I've stuck a
Yeah.
big 99p sticker on them.
Yeah.
So, it's not great for full price, but I work on a theory if you just get one person in. I've got 22 books.
It gets them in your world, though, doesn't it?
It's so you're gradually building up your fan base slowly. I mean, I haven't got a huge mailing list, or I have got one, but that wasn't kind of my focus. But it's always creeping upwards. So it's just finding what works for you, really. So I know you guys are big fans of TikTok, but it's not something I've gone into because I'm not a fan personally of the short form video. Plus, I don't
No.
really think it's my target audience. If I was writing sort of YA fantasy or sort of paranormal stuff that appeals to younger people, then that might be more my thing. But
You would be surprised. It's not
yeah,
just young people on TikTok.
yeah,
No.
I was speaking to Adrian Cousins at the
yeah,
SPF thing, and we were talking about TikTok, and he messaged me the other day going, "I don't have I've set it up. I don't have a clue what I'm doing." So I talked to him for a few
yeah,
things, but I mean, like with my Ron Ladlet stuff, it is all 40-year-old to 60-year-old women, so they are on there.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's who I'm targeting, and I don't see why there wouldn't be your
No,
target audience on there either. You know,
I think with me, I mean, if there was one piece of advice I would give out, and I may be totally wrong, but like you said earlier on, you can get bombarded with all these different things when you become an author that you've got to do. Right, you've got to be on Facebook, you've got to be on TikTok, you've got to have a mailing list, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And in fact, you've got like 20 things that people are telling you. You've got to, how the hell am I going to find time to do all this and write my books?
yeah,
Now, I think that there's no one right way for any of us. We're all completely unique. And I think out of those things, work out what's maybe the half a dozen are that really work for you and put, all of your efforts in there. You can touch on the other things, but focus on what works. Because some
yeah.
things work and some don't. So,
Well, that's it. I mean, like we were saying about TikTok, some
yeah,
people don't want to post 3 times a day. I mean, me personally, because I've been doing it for 7 months now consistently,
yeah,
I love the fact that when someone will text me on the message or whatever, and it comes up, and it's a conversation like that straight away. Whereas your old style Facebook ads, then you can't get hold of that reader as quickly. If they sign up to your mailing list, they
yeah,
might email you, and it's a lot slower. One of the things that I do love is the interaction, like now kind of
Yeah.
thing,
yeah,
and it can also sell books well, but at the same time, it isn't set and forget in a sense like Facebook ads. In the background, you have to
yeah,
be sort of on it all the
yeah.
time
Well,
for
it's
it
fine.
to work.
Finding the time, isn't it? I guess it's one of
Yeah.
these things that if it does become the thing, and that literally everyone else is saying it works, and I'm the only one holding out, I'll end up getting dragged kicking and screaming eventually into it. But I'm not particularly a high tech person. Some of
Right.
my friends sort of joke that I've been spending so long writing these 1980s books that I've become sort of stuck in the
1980s.
80s myself. I've even got a Casio wristwatch.
Yeah.
The ones we used to have
Yeah.
at school.
Do
Yeah.
you write on a typewriter, or, or have you gone
Pen and paper.
digital? Pen and paper, brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah. No.
even better.
Yeah. So yeah. It's great. It's a great journey, and if people are starting out and they find it daunting, or I say I've got friends who are like that. Where do I start? But there's plenty
Yeah.
of support out there. I think your podcast is great because you are pitching towards that end of the
New water.
of the yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's other podcasts out there, but they're often they're run by the people at the top of the industry, and they are pitched sort of towards people that have already made it. Whereas
yeah. We don't have any business talking to them, do we, Rachel?
No.
so yeah. No, it's been great. I'm really glad you let me come on, and I'll meet you both next year because I've just booked my ticket to Ireland.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Adrian was saying he was trying to convince you, and he
Yeah.
finally has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a good chat on here the other day and sort of organised it all. So
Well,
yeah, we'll
fantastic.
be flying out on the same flight, and yeah, it should be great.
Do you live close by?
Not really. I'm in Worcestershire and he's out more sort of London way. So I've got to go all the way down to Heathrow to get there because there's no proper...
Yeah.
So I've got to drive 100 miles in the opposite direction in order
just to get on the same plane as your mate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are flights from Birmingham, but it's like about sort of 2 a week and they're just at ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same with Manchester. There's only a couple a week, but it's timed all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
That'd
looking
be
forward
great,
to that. I mean, I have done the odd author meetup before. I went to the one that the 2 indie authors did at Birmingham. Just
I was April last April.
Yes,
I was going to go for that, but it was on the same day as a cup final. I coached my son's team, and it was a cup final on the same day, and I was like, I can't really miss that.
Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't there in Birmingham.
The other thing that we did, 4 of us, this was the year before, we did a little panel event where myself, Adrian, Keith Pearson and Adam Eccles, we all, literally the 4 of us sitting along a table and sold tickets, people came to see us. It wasn't a huge event, I think we had about sort of 50 or 60 people in the audience.
That's great.
But it paid for itself, and they asked us questions, and they brought their books along for us to sign, and that was a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that is great. We want to see if we can do a live episode while we're in
Ireland.
In Ireland.
That'd be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you say that, but it means that we have to be in front of people, and I'll be hungover.
And sober.
Yeah, and sober, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
we'll
years
see.
since I've been to it. I mean, when I worked in market research, we used to have these sort of conferences, the annual sales conference, and I remember what massive piss-ups they used to be. It's always the first, because you arrive in the afternoon, but the conference doesn't really start till the next day. And everybody's out of the office, they're away from their families, and they just go crazy.
Yeah.
I could imagine it being like that.
It's like a free pass, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd like to pretend that I'm older and wiser, but that'll go out the window.
I tried to be older and wiser at the SPS, and someone videoed me complaining that I was drinking water between my beer.
Oh.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you're cheating.
Yeah.
But you probably didn't have as much of a headache as I did the next day.
No, it was only because I went to the bathroom and it was like 6:30 in the evening. I thought, I feel quite drunk. I'm going to get water, otherwise I'm not making it to the end of the night.
Were you late the next morning, Rachel? Because Rob put up a picture of himself sitting there saying he didn't know where you were.
I was like 3 seats behind him, and he even got up and left and walked past me, and I said, hi, Rob, and he's blank. He was gone.
Yeah, I managed to make it this time, and I stayed around for about 40 minutes and then went for breakfast.
I'd gone in because I was doing some work at the Vinci table, on the vendor stuff, so yeah, I was over there.
Well, I might come down to that one next year, because I can literally just hop on the train from here.
Yeah, it's good. It is good, and it always seems to be sunny. This is like my third one that I've done, and even though the first one was in March, just before COVID, and it was sunny then,
Yeah.
So it always, although it's quite rainy in the evening, but it always seems to be nice. Pick a good weekend to do it. Well, week to do it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So what's next for Jason Ayres?
Right. Well, I've just finished, and I'm editing this week, 1984. Which people keep joking about Orwell and all this sort of stuff, but it's set in London, and it's in that sort of world of sort of slightly ducking and diving, dodgy deals, on the verge of sort of gangsters and stuff, but more in a humorous way, like Minder, Only Fools and Horses, that sort of world. And now I'm just tinkering around with ideas for the next one, which I haven't fully kind of worked out yet, but I've got a few ideas, put it that way. So
the series starts at 1980, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
how far are you going to go? Are you going to get to the millennium?
Originally, it was going to just be the 80s, and I wanted to get all 10 out, because I think I've got 4. Once I got 10, that's a really marketable asset, because I could put them in. I put my books in box sets, and they do really well. That first Time Bubble box set of 5 books is by far and away my biggest earning book, even though
The KU, are you?
yeah, it's the pages read. It just racks them up. It's
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think I will go on because some people, I got some people on my page and they're like, oh, I wasn't born till like 85. I hope you do the 90s.
Yeah.
But the concept
Yeah.
is such that in theory it could go on indefinitely.
Yeah.
I haven't got any other sort of ideas for new series at the moment, and I'm just enjoying this one, so I may as well just crack on for now. And if something else comes to mind, I mean, I get them out on audiobooks and all the rest of it. So I think really it's just to keep going, keep growing, see where it takes me, and then think about what might be next sort of step in the writing career. As long as I keep going in the right direction. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could give advice to a new author now, what would you say to them? Someone starting now.
yeah, well,
You've been like me. You started at the beginning and made all the mistakes.
yeah. Okay, so I probably sort of semi-covered some of this earlier, but two things really is you've got to get something out there, so you can't procrastinate forever. But try when you do to make it as good as it can, and at least get something out there that looks professional. You can get a decent cover on it, a good blurb, it's formatted correctly. Even if it's your writing's going to get better, get started. And I would also say definitely go down the series route because that's worked for me. I'm not sure, if standalone is. I don't know. What do you think? I just.
Series works better for me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see myself as a standalone writer. I
Yeah.
mean, with my Ladlet series, they were all standalone books, and I think I got to the 4th. Yeah, no, the 3rd one. I'm like, well, if I change some names in that book, then this could kind of be a prequel to kind of thing, and it's kind of been like stitched together as a series. It works well when reading it, readers say, but they're all standalone books and with the same characters, really. That's yeah.
But the key thing is you've got the branding right on them. So even if it's not a series, don't put out 4 books with completely different covers. And
branding is absolutely king, isn't it?
Like whatever you settle on for your author signature or title, you want to keep that consistent. It's all those sort of things, but it's trying to look professional as much as possible.
And it's also so readers straight away go, oh, that's one of their books without even reading it. They've got that visual element, haven't they? I really love your books, and I was with a rip at the bottom and they're brilliant.
That's from the
covers.
Danny, my cover artist. She designed that, and it does look good. And on the new series, I still use the same. I don't use the same design, but I've still got the same signature.
Yeah, it's the cassette tape, isn't it?
Well, it varies. So
one of them's got a cassette tape, hasn't it?
Yeah, one of them's got a cassette tape. It's the thing about those 80s covers. I had a couple of ideas, but one of them was. I was thinking about Now albums and things like that, in the 80s, like Now 6, Now 8, big, bold letters. It was the idea with those covers is let's be big, bold, brash 80s, not try and be too stylish. It's almost really in your face.
Yeah.
But it sort of works.
Yeah.
So, and then just a couple of elements. They're very simple covers. Change the colour, stick a couple of elements roughly relating to the story on them, and it's job done. I mean, sometimes simple is best.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like simple, and it is the brand. If you're doing a series, it is definitely the branding. Just it's.
Yours are fantastic, Rob. I think Meat Market and all those, they really are eye catching.
They're about the 20th incarnation.
Yeah.
There's literally an evolution of Meat Market.
Yeah.
The different covers that I've had over the years. But yeah, I like them. I wanted bright, and it's working so far.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. It's lovely to actually finally meet you. You're always popping up in our group and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I look forward to buying you a pint, or even better, you buy me one in Ireland.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah, thanks so much. And it seems a long time away, but it'll soon come round. So
Oh, he'll be here in a
well,
minute.
yeah.
look forward to it. Brilliant.
That'd be
Well,
great.
thanks very much,
Okay.
and see you soon.
See you later.
Okay.
So that was Jason Ayres. What a lovely guy. Has he inspired you to go and read some time travel books?
No.
No.
It's too. I know he's not a science fiction guy, but these do sound cool. If they were a TV show, they'd definitely be ones I'd watch.
Yeah. Like I said, I've read a few of them, and they are very enjoyable. I'm hoping to start, because I'm reading some time travel for Major and Cousins at the moment. I want to start going back that way now that my Ladlet stuff's nearly on the shelf for a while, kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm not a time travel fan for books, but I do like to watch the shows. And when he was talking about them, like being the 80s, because obviously I grew up in the 80s, and that would be like a great thing to see on screen.
Yeah, you're Back to the Future and your Highlander and stuff there.
Yeah, you just go and see all that retro stuff, isn't it? That you're like, oh my god, I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool. Right, so what we're doing next week?
not a clue.
Not a clue. As
Not a-
per usual.
Yeah.
Well, it's I noticed that your dog started barking and you managed to catch it quickly.
Several times I was like,
Every
mute,
time.
mute.
This dog must know. Oh, she's recording. Let's crack on.
Yeah, and there wasn't even anything going on outside. There was no postie or anything. But,
Just knew that you were recording.
yeah.
Right, it's been wonderful to speak to you as always,
And you.
and see you next week.
See you later. Bye.